The woman was about to fetch water when she suddenly felt something crawling into her pants. She frantically called to the man for help. He quickly rushed over to assist her, even wearing a smug smile on his face. But the next second, his expression changed dramatically as he pulled out a half-meter-long venomous snake from the woman's pants. The man was scared to death and immediately threw the snake far away. If they had been bitten, the consequences would have been severe. After the danger passed, he looked at the woman angrily, his heart still pounding with fear. The woman, however, seemed somewhat pleased. Seeing how desperately the man had fought for her, she no longer worried about what harm might come to her while stranded on this deserted island. The two then decided to climb to the island's highest point to determine their current location. But when the man took out his map for comparison, he discovered there was no marking for this island anywhere on it. This meant the island was completely uncharted. Even if they died of old age here, no rescue would ever come. Just as they were nearly in despair, the woman's eyes suddenly caught sight of a yacht in the distance. This filled them both with excitement. Without wasting a moment, they rushed back to the beach, retrieved the life raft from the plane, and set off toward the yacht under cover of night. To reach their destination as quickly as possible, they took turns rowing, determined not to waste even a second. However, just as they were approaching their target, the woman excitedly picked up binoculars to get a better look, only to accidentally discover two large ships anchored on the sea. She didn't think much of it initially, but the man sensed something was wrong and quickly took the binoculars to assess the situation. To his horror, he discovered that the yacht's owners had been brutally murdered by a group of pirates. The man turned pale with terror and frantically steered the life raft back toward shore. If these desperate criminals spotted them, they would surely kill them to silence any witnesses. But their worst fear came to pass. The woman had just picked up the binoculars to observe when she witnessed the horrifying scene. She was completely terrified and frantically urged the man to row harder. Even worse, the pirates launched a motorboat and began pursuing them at high speed. The man rowed with all his strength, desperately propelling them forward while the woman kept watch from behind. Just as the pirates were closing in, fortunately, the two were nearly back to shore. At the critical moment, the pirates opened fire, sending a hail of bullets their way. In the crisis, both jumped into the water just as their life raft was riddled with holes. Fortunately, they weren't far from land and quickly swam to shore, then raced toward the island's interior. However, the pirates clearly had no intention of giving up and pursued them relentlessly with handguns. To escape their pursuers, the pair didn't dare stop for even a moment, pushing their exhausted bodies to sprint forward. What drove them to despair was that despite having so many paths available, they had somehow fled to the edge of a cliff. Ahead lay only a deep precipice with no escape route. In this critical moment, the man finally made a bold decision. He gently kissed the woman's lips, then pushed her off the cliff before jumping after her himself. Perhaps due to good fortune, neither was swallowed by the sea, and they successfully swam to shore. Now the pirates had no way to follow them.